I totally saved this daffodil. I found it basically, cut. I think it's from my neighbor's Pomeranian. That is so cute, but we can't let this little one die. Okay, så Edderafan. Hey guys, and welcome to a new episode of the Kissing Podcast. Always been a minute. So today, not scripted, we're talking about what happens when people kind of tell you what you are, in the sense that it's kind of to belittle you, to bully you, to absolutely make something up completely and utterly false. And I guess I'm gonna tell you how to deal with it. Hi everyone, welcome to the Grisline Podcast, a podcast all about self-love, personal growth and self-worth. I'm your host, Summer Clark. Yes, this episode is all about how to deal with people that spread rumours, say things about you that are false, just make up lies about you. And I'm like, oh my gosh. Now this recently did happen to me. I was like, my word, my stars, heavens. It was like, okay, we've taken that route. It doesn't make you look good, but we've taken that route. Let me tell you the story. My word. Oh, so English, darling. So we're just here in my room. I couldn't be bothered to set up a studio. And this, honestly, if someone's saying something bad about you and you know it's not true, they are so not for you. You shouldn't be wasting your time on these people. They are not the right people. And I don't know why people. It must be something to do with self-esteem or something. I actually don't know. Disclaimer. I could find out if I were to do a more formal episode. Yeah. But, and get my facts straight and reference and be like, yes. But I think it does come from a place of low self-worth, and why people do choose to bully and do choose to say the things that they want to say and make you feel the way that they want you to feel. It's not okay, and you shouldn't have people in your life like this. And it kind of comes down to knowing your own worth. There is a little story in the book. I'm gonna put it up because it really, and I think even Paris Hilton said this when she said people are more used to abuse when they've suffered from it before is something that they're used to. And there was an experiment in that book. Can't remember, something to do with the body, what is it? There's this story in it, and it's about how psychology is brutal. I'm going to study it this year, and it is brutal. Unhumane, science experiments that have taken place. There was an experiment over, it was about dogs, It wasn't about dogs, it was about the way they would behave if they were shocked a lot. It is in the book. There was an experiment. I'll have to like link it if there's like a link on the actual experiment that was taking place. But there was, yeah, experiment of dogs that were shocked over a period of time. Obviously, being electrocuted is quite painful. I would have to say so. I have been electrocuted. It sucked. My rabbit was like a house rabbit. Cute. My rabbit was so cute. I don't know if I have a picture of my rabbit. Called Pancakes, and he once chewed through a wire. And I like grabbed the wire thinking like, oh, what have you done there? Like, oh, you little rapscallion. And I grabbed it with both hands. And I was electrocuted. And it really hurt. And apparently, being electrocuted, I was really lucky to let go. Because I let go, and apparently that's really lucky, because you freeze, like you have that like overload, or it's just like, not saying that that's medically accurate, that movie, like what would happen, but you can tense up, but like I wasn't blown across the room. My golf coach actually was blown across the room, cutting an electric wire. So yeah, so pretty lucky. So the dogs there were tiny bits of electrocution, but they're in these cages, and there was an experiment. I'm not actually sure what it was. The book's over there, I can see it. The Body Keeps Score, that's what it's called. So basically, the old dogs that were used to being electrocuted, abused, would stay. They would stay. And when there was a experiment, that they would stay because they did this experiment on new dogs. So what they did was open the cages. With the new dogs being electrocuted, they were like, doop, and they ran away. But the ones that were used to it, they stayed. And I'm like, taking off, are we, Mr. Computer? So it's kind of like, that if we're used to something, we're more likely to, stay and hold on. I kind of like think about like, it goes down to what is it? I'm so scatterbrained, honestly. Right. We only settle for what we think we deserve. And you can really see that in some people. I know I can. And you should really tell yourself right now that you do deserve better than whatever you're going through, because it's always like your instinct. Like if you listen to your instinct, you'll be like, something's not right here. And sometimes we can't see better until we've seen better and accepted better, and then we're like, oh, okay, this is what it's supposed to be like. I wasn't supposed to tolerate all those things that I've tolerated. I'm supposed to have a happy, healthy, functioning life. Oh, great, awesome. But let me just bring up the awful message, which I was just like, I laughed. It's like, I read it in front of my stepdad. He was like, and I was just like, the news reporter guy in Spider-Man. Because I was like, this is so false. But with this situation, it was definitely a projection of her own insecurity. It was definitely a projection of trying to control, manipulate, slightly gaslight. I was just like, oh my god. It made me laugh. Stop it. It's so funny. Oh, fine. We're okay. Oh my god. Well. Oh, mighty. Oh my goodness. It's like someone 100% projecting their insecurities on me, but it's always like to say things that are completely lying and completely toxic thing to say. I could say one word or one sentence. You, you, you. Composure, darling. I'm someone that really believes in actions, not words, and I got those words from Dakota Johnson because I love her. She's just so together and so perfect, and hopefully, hopefully there's not a scandal down the road. I don't think there will be. She's fucking perfect. Anyway, so she said actions, not words. So that's what I really believe in, and it kind of goes along with like the proofs in the pudding. Now, I'm not. I don't intentionally go out and be nasty. Like, I'm not that person. And this comes down to, again, you have to know who you are, truthfully, to not let anyone manipulate the situation. You really need to know you. Then that's a great thing to do, like personal development, like, you know, being here, listening to this. It's like, nobody can tell you who you are because it's just a perception of their reality. And their reality. I could get through this. I was laughing so much. I was like, naked. Because I didn't read it because I didn't respect this person enough to tell me until I read it in front of my stepdad. And then I was just like, oh my goodness. How nasty. She has no right. Nobody has any right to tell you anything. No. Oh my gosh. This is hilarious. This is hilarious. This is hilarious. This is hilarious. It's also contradicting as well. She's contradicting herself. Sorry. I can't get through it. It's just, it's funny. Okay, right. Oh my god, why is this so funny? It's just wrong. That's why. And again, yes, you have to know yourself. But okay, so I'm gonna say the sentence. It's like, you need to figure out a way to not be a rude little bitch to everyone. To everyone around you, and maybe one day you'll be loved. How false is that? It's like, I'm not going down the road walking like Groot from like the Minions, like popping like balloons and it's like, what on earth? And maybe one day you'll be loved. I was like, what are you on about? It's like, I'm choosing to be single. Like, I have a Pinterest board called the Single Princess Party because I was just generally going to plan like this whole wedding reception kind of vibe party for being single, because it's like, well, maybe I don't want to, you know, find someone and have kids anyway. But, you know, someone like that doesn't know me. What that led to was completely from like a snowflake to an avalanche. Like, to go that far to say that to someone is horrendous. Oh my gosh, thank you for making my day. I couldn't get through that. That was so funny. But to say that to someone, no. But, you know, if I was in a vulnerable state, I had low self-esteem, I would think, oh, maybe they're right. But I know for a fact this person is a pathological liar, and they slightly have this slight histrionic personality disorder. They have quite the symptoms. And already know that's false. I was like, I'm choosing to be single. I literally walked down like the stairs like Madonna and Material Girl because I just can't. I go out the house. Men are in tuxedos giving me jewelry and I just can't. Can you not? That's completely false. That is completely false. I can't even. I'm not rude. I think she's referring to something that. Now, I saw this pointed out in a movie recently we all saw on Netflix. And. No, we all saw. I think it was in top 10. It was like the one with Jennifer Lawrence and how she says something to someone really young. And they were like, oh my god, I'm so offended. And they all get out their phones. And I genuinely believe there's that gap of like, I think millennials are a little bit tougher. And, you know, we can take jokes and stuff. And I think I was referring to one of her friends. I joked about saying the word lol. He said lol to me. And I was like, oh my god, who says lol anymore? That's so funny. Like, joking, teasing. And then he attacks me. And I'm like, oh my god, what? I was joking. And then this whole thing happened. I was like, oh my god, pull your pants up, sir, because, you know, put on your big boy pants, because, oh my god. But okay, that's rude. You know? I was like, what? Apparently that's being rude. I was like, I was just joking. You know, I was teasing. I was like, come on, you can't go through life like a bloody... I call them fruitcake actually now because I guess that's rude, but you know, it's just not for me. And that's fine. Like, that's fine. And you know, you have to draw your boundaries and standards. And if someone finds that, you know, rude, fine. I was just like... But I think that's what she was referring to. I was just generally like, ugh, big ick. No, absolutely not. And you know, that's just me having my standards. And there was a tough time when it was just like, what is your boundaries and what are your standards, you know? And finding the right place of like, am I being a horrible person by setting these things? And you know, I don't think you are. And I generally had help from a counsellor at the time, and she was like, no, you're putting your foot in the ground, and you have to, you know, and you're not being nasty, you're putting up your barrier, you're putting up your wall, and that's what you should do. Like, if you feel, you know, someone's not making you happy, someone's, you know, causing you harm, saying things that aren't true, you have to put up your wall. Put up your wall. Don't respond. Don't respond as well, because they're not worth your time. Like, that wasn't worth my time. I was just like, crikey. I couldn't read it because I was like, I just don't care. But yeah, I read it in front of my stepdad and I was like, oh my word. She went deep. Like, it's not something I care about, because I think Lady Gaga also said, like, only value the opinions of those who value you, and 100% you should do that. Sorry. You know, go on living your life the way you think you should be living your life. 100%. If people like that are in your way, you don't need them, because they're not serving you. People like that are not serving you, and you should always have people that are serving you in your life. And you should never let anyone get to you. I know it's easier said than done, but you need to find out the truth, actually, from the same person. I've had to call one of my best friends. I was like, I'm gonna do that because I'm a millennial. Like, I was like, tell me, what's going on? I just feel so confused. And the same person had manipulated something. My reality, the way I see the world, my perceived reality. And when someone's doing that, just throw them in the bin, because they are not worth your time. But my friend was just like, Have you not ever thought that she's jealous? I was like, oh, yeah, she might be. And yeah, I guess so. Probably the way she talks about me, like I'm in my perfect little world. So of course I am. We all are. We all see the world differently. And nobody can, it's so intrusive for someone to say, you're living in a dream world. It's like, what do you mean? It's like, that is so, I think that is gaslighting, actually, because no one can tell you that you're living in a dream world, because again, we do all see the world differently, and that's the beauty of it. That's the beauty of, you know, being alive. Like, we can do whatever we want. You know, again, I'll say it, there's a person walking around, a millionaire, because they've invented the pool noodle. I could tell you, they probably had loads of people telling them, you can't do that, that's impossible, you're living in a dream world. When people say things like that, it's because I think things haven't worked out for them the way that they want, and they don't like it in you, so they do try to take you down. And I remember trying to do a Google search on this, and Google didn't have it, so then I was like, okay, let's go to AI. Like, I don't really like AI that much. I went to them with this because yeah, so what it said was it's a limit, it's a what did they say? Lol. Projection of their own limitations, so they might be projecting their own fears, doubts, and limiting beliefs onto you. And if you're dreaming big or thinking differently, it can make some people uncomfortable, especially if they've settled for less. Full stop. Need I say more? Control or power play, so it can be a way to diminish your voice, your plans, especially if they feel threatened by your independence and ambition. Again, looking at the difference between my life and her life, I would say it's better. So gaslighting, like, so it's not full on gaslighting, but it can be a subtle form of manipulation, making you question your own perception or reality to make them seem more reasonable or rational in comparison. That definitely did happen, because I was like, Joey, what's going on? You know, she settled it. She was like, this is why. And again, God, if you've got a dream or something you're passionate about doing, don't let anyone tell you otherwise. The worst. So, insecurity in disguise. I do actually believe she's incredibly insecure. So, people often mock what they don't understand. And if you're thinking creatively, dreaming big, or breaking away from the norms, it can trigger insecurity in someone who never allowed themselves that freedom. And I had to ask ChatGPT that, because I was just like, Google, tell me the answer. And it was just like, it came up with like dreams, like, oh, your dreams, spiritual, like hippy dippy, like kind of websites. And I was like, no, Google. You know, tell me about your dreams. Them being the reality. But it is, you know, really condescending for someone to say that, and, you know, not, it's just bullying at the end of the day. At the end of the day, it's bullying. And you should not tolerate it. You should tolerate it. No, you should not tolerate it. And yes, that, again, easier said than done. It's like, oh, right, great, right answer. You have to take actions for yourself. You have to know how to love yourself in a way that no one will ever get to you. So that, like, self-love is a shield. Of, like, I love a Chris Evans. But it's there to protect you. You know your worth. You know what's real. That's why I'm laughing. Like, I cannot help but laugh at that, because it's so wrong. That's not how it is at all. And it's quite concerning, actually. No one should talk to you like that in the first place. No one should call you this or that. No one should, you know, think they know you. Nobody, sorry, no one knows you except you. And sometimes you don't know who we are. And that sucks. But it's also quite the blessing, because then we can go on like a journey into Middle Earth to find out who we are. And you Middle Earth with your heart. No, um nobody knows who you are. And yes, again, sometimes you don't. I've totally struggled with that. Like with the whole like masking thing. I was like, who am I now? And I do super overthink things, like because being autistic and was it a world? I don't know why I'm saying was it to who. That is a makeup brush I use to dust my plant. What is it? Magical makeup brush. Like what? Like I don't use makeup, but I can get between the leaves. Okay, right. So what is it, you know, about... Oh, I can't even remember, I've totally lost track. So I know I was talking about masking, but I definitely had that be authentic thing. And I think it was generally like I used to dress super smart. I used to be super presentable. I used to basically talk like Princess Diana. I still do. I still feel, and I just think actually that might be the way I talk anyway. But anyway, if I'm if I diet down a little, I don't know. But I generally talk like the way I'm talking. Or what? No, I do talk like that, and yeah, it's fine. But be authentic. Find what makes you. Write a list. We can do it together in a live if you wanted to, or something. Or it really is. It's quite the challenge, but for those who have been in really toxic situations, it really is hard to find who you are, because you've constantly had someone tell you who you are, and it's disgusting. And I've witnessed that actually. In a cafe where I used to work, I was on break, and in the table in front of me there was a couple. This guy, no thank you. I couldn't believe it. And when he left, I said the truth, because what a lie. What a subtle, abusive lie. He was, oh gosh, no, he was talking to his wife like poo. And then I went back behind the till after my break, and then he obviously was insecure or whatever, but just the abuse. And he was lying about his wife, saying, oh, my wife, you know, this and that, this and that. And I was like, that's not what happened, because I was just behind you on the table. And I was just like, oh, and that poor woman. Poor woman. But you've got to know what you deserve. And that's why it's really good to be single for such a long time. There's another reason why I'm single, is because, like, you hear all these stories about abuse, and, like, I'm like, well, if I stay alone, jolly good. So I do have that as well, because it can, you know, it has happened, you know. Also, I just want to mention, like, if you had a friend that was dating, and then they stop talking to you, you gotta check in with that as well, because that's, yeah, check in with that. But, you know, it's horrendous. It really is horrendous. So that's another fear of mine. But, you know, it's a choice to be single, and that's okay. You can choose to be single if you want to. There are a lot of women who are now devoted to be like, nah to the kids, and nah to the husband, wife. But the dogs can stay, of course. The dogs are here. Many dogs. And, you know, that's fine. You know, that's where I see myself at like 40. Like, I totally want to have my own dog, maybe get my own place, and then just happen. No, get my own place, have my dog, get my degree, which I'll have, and then yeah, like all I see, like I never saw myself with someone really. I always saw myself alone traveling, and I'll have my own place and have a dog after I've done a little bit of traveling. It's like I've never saw myself. I never have has have as a kid saw myself with kids. I swore off them. It was only recently I thought, oh, actually, maybe just one. And I can do that myself. You know, because I'm a rude little something, and no one will ever love me. I could go and get the old treatment, IVF, isn't it? No, I'd rather have a dog, to be honest, or a Norwegian forest cat. Have you seen them? They're fantastic. They're so majestic. I'll take one of those, thanks. Never talk back. It might, but it would be cute. Oh, yo. But yeah, so never, and never underestimate you. Never underestimate the power of your self-worth. Just never do that, because you might be surprised at your own little potential and what you can do. There's always something you can do. And if anyone says anything otherwise, ignore them, laugh at them, be like, are you kidding me? Because they don't have a say in your life and how you see it, because you've been brought up in this world, and everything you've experienced, everything has led to your own beautiful character. And if you let someone take that away because of how they see the world and their projection of you, like, their projection of you is nothing to do with you, how they see you is nothing to do with you. No, it's not. It's a weird world we live in. I might go into a little bit more about perspective and how that entails with, like, bullying. I could go into it. I'm so busy right now. It hurts. That's why it's not been a podcast episode. I've just been so tired. I'm just gonna put that on the shelf. Because I'm just like, oh, I'm doing so much. And that's fine. So that's why I'm in, like, here. I was like, I can't be bothered to go where it's all pink. It's fine. So I guess it's gonna be it for this episode. Really, thank you so much for listening. There's so much to do in my life, guys. I could probably keep you updated, but nah. You were just here for the information. That's fine. But yeah, hope you're well. Thank you so much for listening. This has been the Coastline Podcast, and I've been here, Sam Clark. Goodbye.